that's straight and bright. By the light of the Word.
Today on Light of the Word with Pastor Ray.
He's going to do it how? By bringing up his past, by his past failures and what his past life was like, and that's always what the devil wants to do. I want to destroy your present day, and I want to destroy and take away your future, and I'm going to do it by constantly reminding you of your past. I'm going to constantly bring up the past. But no man, government, or program can stop the work of God. Never.
Open your heart to us, Lord, so we can know your word. We come before you, Jesus. Speak to our hearts as we discover your love for us. How wide, how deep, how far. Pour into us so we can learn to follow. One surrender at a time. You have made the way for us to know you, a path that's straight and bright. By the light of the Word.
Don't allow the devil to bring you down by bringing up your past failures. When you come to the Lord asking forgiveness, He does just that and wipes your slate clean. Pastor Ray will remind you of the Lord's strength and power in today's message. God has a good plan for you that the devil is eager to destroy. Don't be an instrument of the devil and remind others of their past failures. Call on the Lord so that you can instead be an encouragement, someone who lifts others during depressing times. Well, let's join Pastor Ray in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 16 for today's edition of Light of the Word.
2 Samuel chapter 16. This is God's family. This is God's king. This is God's nation. And He gives us every detail for a reason, for life, leading us, guiding us, showing us His grace, showing us His mercy, giving us application for the life that we live in. We're way beyond history. It's His story. His story. A story of love, a story of grace, a story of faithfulness, a story of mercy. And that's what we have, and that's why I love going through Old Testament passages and such as these. I'm reminded, and maybe you recognize the man. He's a 1600 English politician, very well known, very powerful. His name's Oliver Cromwell. And they made the picture of him, the artist did the painting of him and every brushstroke, every detail of the life of Oliver Cromwell. And this would be the picture that all would see and all that would remember him as. And when they put the picture up, he immediately says, I don't like it. That's not me. Because what the artist, in his desire to give a good lighting of Oliver Cromwell, he removed his wart, because Oliver Cromwell had a very distinctive wart. And Oliver Cromwell, when he saw the portrait without the wart, he said, that's not me. You go repaint it and you put the wart, because that wart is me. And I want the whole world to see me as I am. And now we know the saying, warts and all. And this is what God puts before us, warts and all. And I don't think there's anyone in here today that have some warts, but God speaks to us through this passage today. Hey, I put it all out there, warts and all. This is my family, and I'm going to give you every detail of my family. And that's what we get all the way through the scriptures. And you know, it's one of the reasons that you can take that the scriptures are inspired, because no king would ever let himself be painted in a bad light. No president of the United States, if he could write his history, he'd go, leave that out, and leave that out. And David had the power, but David, because this is the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, we have warts and all, the life of David, the life of Israel, and all these types of things. So David's on the run as I make my introduction here. He's now the one going in exile because his son Absalom now has taken the throne. Coup attempt, and it's going well. David gets up and he flees. He takes most of his household with him. He's going up the hill and he's on his way out, and that's where we're going to pick it up today. But I want you to understand something as we read this. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And there's a prophetic application here that doesn't necessarily get called out until you step back and see it. It's more than Absalom putting David on the run. It's Satan. Satan wants to destroy David. It's been his theme continually because we go back in our study there in chapter 7, and you recall that study that we did. God promises David, through your seed will the Messiah come. And you will have a king that will sit on your throne forever. And it was all a picture of Jesus Christ. We studied that in the past. It's all a picture. Satan right now in our passage, and there's an application for us in it, is that he wants to destroy David. And then he wants a civil war and all of David's lineage, seed, be destroyed. Because he wants to stop the seed from coming. If he can have Absalom kill David, he's wiped out David, no more reproduction there. And then as he can stir that up, because he's got a beautiful civil war going here, then I'll stir up all the other brothers against brothers, and they'll kill each other, and there will be no king of Israel left, and Satan knows, and guess what? And there's no Messiah that can come through the seed of David. It's always been his plan. Kill the seed of David so that there is no Messiah, so that there is no hope. We see it so masterfully. He fails here, as we know the rest of the story, but he tries it again in the book of Esther. I'm going to kill, and he gives a decree through a man named Haman, raises up a man named Haman who gets the king to sign a decree that on a certain day, all of the Jews in all of the land will be killed. Well, guess what? Kill all the Jews in all the land, and guess what you've done? You've silenced the seed of the Messiah. Then Jesus is born. The seed has come, and there in the book of Matthew, chapter 2, another man who starts with an H, Herod, sends out a decree, kill every child under the age of 2. Because Satan, again, I believe that Haman very well could have been the devil incarnate. I believe that Herod very well could have been the devil incarnate as they gave their power and let him take control. And so here the devil again, kill the seed and silence and stop the seed, and no Messiah, no hope. Fails again. God tucks Mary and Joseph and the babe Jesus, takes them to Egypt, protects them. And you know why the wise men came with their gold, myrrh, and frankincense? To provide. While they go on the run, they leave their home, they leave their business, they go into Egypt, and God has provided for them a means to sustain them the 2 years that they're in Egypt. And I just sidestep for a point to anyone today. He's Jehovah Jireh. He'll provide for you. Maybe you're struggling through something, whatever that may be. God will provide. And I love what we see, though. Joseph has to go back to work. The gold, myrrh, and frankincense didn't last them all the way through into their retirement. And I love what the proverb says. Oh, Lord, don't make me so poor that I steal, but don't make me so rich that I forget you. God knows what he's doing if you're in a struggle, but he's Jehovah Jireh, and he provides. And Jesus is tucked away for 2 years. And once again, the failure on behalf of Satan to stop the seed. Because he wants to stop your hope. He doesn't want you to have any hope. The only hope I have is I know that Jesus Christ is coming. And if he doesn't come back for his church today, I believe he's coming back tomorrow. And if he doesn't come back today, you ask me tomorrow, and I will tell you the same thing tomorrow. I believe Jesus Christ is coming. And so here the evil one, he tries to stop again the work that God's doing. And that's what we're seeing in our passage today. He's trying to stop the work of God. And let me just tell you, wherever you're at today, no man, government, or program can stop the work of God. No man, government, or program can stop the work of God in your life. Only you can, by willful disobedience to his word and the unwillingness to receive his word by faith. And that's why we study these scriptures chapter by chapter, verse by verse, so that we might grow in the wisdom and knowledge of who he is, the plan that he has for us, and the power that he offers us, and we see the faithfulness of our God. Satan's plan, destroy David. Destroy David's present day, destroy David's future. No seed. And do you notice, as we'll study and as we've been studying, he's going to do it how? By bringing up his past, by his past failures and what his past life was like. And that's always what the devil wants to do. I want to destroy your present day, and I want to destroy and take away your future, and I'm going to do it by constantly reminding you of your past. I'm going to constantly bring up the past. But no man, government, or program can stop the work of God. Never. And this is important. And if you hear nothing else today, David, we are 10 years approximately since that day, the Bathsheba, then the year later, the killing of Uriah. We're about 10 years later, and I want you to know this because this is important for you. David is not the same man that he was 10 years ago. Because David is a man after God's own heart. And David falls under the same promises that we do. Jeremiah 29, the thoughts that I think towards you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. And Philippians 1:6, being confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work will be faithful to complete it. God is working in the life of David, and David is not the same man. And we'll read it through. We read it through last week's chapter, and we're going to read it through this week's chapter. He's not the same man. He's a broken man. He's a humble man. And all the warrior that's in him, he still doesn't draw a sword at this moment. You know what meekness is? It's power under control. And David, at this point in our passage, is the meekest man on earth. And you know why? Because he's not the same man that he was 10 years ago. He's not the same man that he was a year before this happens. And beloved of God, neither are you who love Jesus, have given your life to Jesus, have purpose to follow Jesus. You are not the same person that you were 10 years ago. You're not the same person you were last month. Because Philippians 1:6 is true. He who began a good work will be faithful to complete it. Don't let the devil come and bring up your past to try to destroy your present and your future. Don't let someone in your life come and try to throw up your past to destroy your present and your future. And oh, beloved of God, please don't do the same to anyone. Don't bring up their past. Don't try. Don't do. Because that will destroy their present and their future if they don't know these promises of God like we do. David is not the same man, and neither are you. You're not the same woman that you were last year, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. Because God is working and God is doing a work, and we're going to see that. And I hope you can come and see this in our passage today. 2 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1 through 4. When David was a little past the top of the mountain, mind you, he's fled. He's got 600 of his men with him. He's got his wives. He's left 10 behind. He gets to the top of the mountain. There was Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, who met him with a couple of saddled donkeys, and on them 200 loaves of bread, 100 clusters of raisin, 100 summer fruits, and a skin of wine. And the king said to Ziba, what do you mean to do with these? So Ziba said, the donkeys are for the king's household to ride on, the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine for those who are faint in the wilderness to drink. Verse 3, then the king said, and where is your master's son? And Ziba said to the king, indeed, he is staying in Jerusalem. For he said, today the house of Israel will be restored to the kingdom of my father to me. So the king said to Ziba, here all that belongs to Mephibosheth is yours. And Ziba said, I humbly bow down before you, that I may find favor in your sight, my lord, O my king. Mephibosheth goes back to our study in chapter 9. He is the son of Jonathan, who was the son of Saul. David and Jonathan had hearts knit together, and they made a covenant together that we will protect each other. We will, when you're king, I'm going to bow, I'm going to follow you. And should one of us perish or leave this earth first, that we'll take care of each other's family. And David, he's taking care of Mephibosheth, Jonathan's son. Mephibosheth is lame in both feet, if you recall that. He could not live on his own. And David takes him, and he eats at the king's table, we're told, in chapter 9, every day. Now David's on the run, and he gets this word. Mephibosheth's not coming, David. He now feels that you're gone. He's rightful throne because he should have the throne through his father, Jonathan, who should have had the throne, not you, and through the first king, Saul. How does this news break the heart of David? Crushing. Ziba is the servant of the house of Saul. He's now the servant of Mephibosheth and his land. But Mephibosheth, he eats at the king's table every night. Well, did David make the right decision? That's your homework assignment. We'll come back next week. I don't know, we'll all come into the same agreement. But did David make the right decision by saying, okay, Ziba, it's all yours? He's heartbroken. What I can tell you right now is David made a wrong decision by making a decision. Me and some of the pastors, we have a joke. We are not allowed to make any decisions on Mondays, period. Because you don't know how Mondays can be. Depressed or exalted, excited. Well, David's heart's broken. He's on the run. His family's divided. His son wants to kill him. He's lost his kingdom. He's lost his wealth. He's on the run. Not a time to make decisions. And there's a word that we can glean from here. It's not a time to make decisions when you're faced with major things before you. And he also is making a wrong decision, and we get the benefit of the rest of the scriptures. Proverbs 18, verse 17. The first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. So it sounds like, Ziba, I'll take your word for it. But he never went back, and he doesn't have a confirmation from Mephibosheth. We're going to see in chapters coming, so there's your homework assignment to see, did David make the right decision here? Is Mephibosheth really turning on him? And we'll talk about that just lightly, but it's an interesting study. But here's what I want to give to you today. When someone brings you information about someone, here's 4 things for evaluation. When someone brings you information about someone, here's your checklist. Ask them, what is your purpose of telling me this information? If we as a church, as believers and followers of Jesus Christ, will take these 4 every time someone comes to tell us something about someone else, I'll tell you what will die, and die quickly, is gossip and slander and division. Ask them, what is your purpose of telling me this? Why do you want to tell me this? Secondly, where did you get this information from? Have the facts been verified? David did not verify facts at all. But when someone comes to tell you about someone, and may I say this, before you want to talk about somebody, you run these 4. Before you say a word about your brother or sister in Christ that could put them in a bad light, that could destroy their character and their reputation, You run the checklist. Thirdly, have you gone directly to this person you want to tell me about? Have you gone to them, or are you coming to me? And the fourth one is pure power. Can I quote you on this? When someone comes and they bring that and you say, can I quote you on this? Because I will talk to that person that you're talking about, and I'm going to say, and I quote so-and-so, their direct words were this. And when you bring that before someone, say, can I quote you on this? And somebody knows that's what you're going to bring to them. Or we ourselves know, if they quote me on this, can I withstand that? Would I be open that they can quote me of what I just said about them? Tell you what, we run these four. Slander and gossip and division in the church will be greatly reduced, because you know what the devil wants to do? Steal, kill, destroy. And we're seeing it right here. He's coming, boy, he's kicking David when he's down. Verse 5, now when King David came to Bahurim, there was a man from the family of the house of Saul whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. Coming from there, he came out cursing continuously as he came. Shimei, he's a sympathizer of Saul. Obviously, he hates David. He thinks Saul and his lineage should be on the throne. Verse 6, and he threw stones at David and all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. We see David's kind of cocooned with his bodyguard, Secret Service, these 600 men that have been with him since the time that he was on the run from Saul. Verse 7, and Shimei said thus when he cursed, come out, you bloodthirsty man, you rogue. Maybe your translation says worthless man. Maybe it also says Belial. Verse 8, and the Lord has brought upon you all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose places you have reigned, and the Lord has delivered the kingdom in the hand of Absalom, your son. So now you are caught in your own evil, because you are a bloodthirsty man. First thing I would say, Shimei does not know the heart of David. And Shimei does not know what God thinks of David. Shimei does not know God's heart for David. And here's where he errs, and maybe someone casting some stones at you, they don't know your heart. They don't know the heart that God has for you. And maybe if you're picking up some dirt or some rocks yourself, do you really know their heart? And do you really know God's heart towards them? God speaks of David, and God speaks of you. David's not the same man that he was 10 years ago or 30 years ago, if that's where the math is, or even longer when he was running from Saul. Shimei does not know the heart of David, and he does not know God's heart for this man, because he, before, during, and after, God always says this about David, and may you hear this. He is a man after my own heart. By the mouth of two witnesses, it is confirmed, the scriptures tell us. And we are told in 1 Samuel 13, David was a man after God's own heart, the very words of God.
You have made the way for us to know you, a path that's straight and bright. By the light of the world.
David has gone from poor shepherd boy to king of Israel. But it wasn't an easy road. Through the ups and downs of his life, though, David remained a man after God's own heart. David wasn't perfect, but he stood out from others through his willingness to repent and turn back to God in every situation. David never lost his love for his Creator, even when it seemed all else in his life was in ruins. He allowed God to work in his life, reminding him of who it was that had sustained him time and time again. Each of us could learn from David's devotion to God and can draw strength from knowing that our Heavenly Father is the same today as He was then. He's there for us at every turn, working in and through us to grow us into His perfect sons and daughters. We're all at different places in this process, so we'd like to offer our support to you however we can. Please let us know how we can pray for you specifically by calling 443-995-3282. That's 443-995-3282. We also have resources available at our website we'd like to share, including a list of links to daily devotionals and our A to Z memory verses. Find them under the Resources tab at ccaac.org. That's all we have time for today on Light of the Word, illuminating the heart of God.
You have made